Good morning, gang. Long time no see. It is currently 6 a.m. I've just woken up. I'm so sorry that I haven't done a YouTube in quite a while. My work schedule has been mad. And then I took my husband away for his 40th birthday to Italy, which was just absolutely lovely. But when truly back, the to-do list is very, very long. And I'm going to take you through a day of eats. I actually have a very exciting shoot today with wardrobe icons, which is going to be fun. They're coming here, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to go for a little morning walk, of course. I've already taken my morning Epitome, glorious, and I've just got my Stanley, which I filled up with lots of water and some L-glutamine. So really, really simple supplement routine. Nice little morning walk just to shake off the cobwebs, wake me up, nature's caffeine, and then we'll come back and make a lovely little breakfast. I'm going to basically use what I have in my fridge today, so we'll do something that's a little bit fridge rage coded. And then the shoot is from 9 until 1, so let's go. Wonderful. So I went out for a nice little hour walk. I just did my normal little loop, so that's good. I haven't had any caffeine yet. And coming back from holiday, the best thing is having a cup of English tea, because no one does tea like the UK. So I'm gonna make myself a little tea. And then I think I'm just gonna do some cottage cheese scrambled eggs, which is basically where you just add the cottage cheese into a normal scrambled egg mix. And it acts like ricotta, so it just gives this really lovely creaminess. Gives an extra boost of protein as well, all of those key minerals and calcium from the dairy. Gonna serve that with a nice piece of sourdough that I picked up from the bakery the other day, and then just see what other vegetables I have lurking around in my fridge to bulk it out with. Excuse the kind of rugged state of me. Sometimes I do actually brush my hair before I film these things, but I've literally just woken up this morning. I'm running quite tight on time, so everyone's coming over mine to set up for the shoot at 8:30. So I just need to make sure that I'm on it, make a nice quick breakfast. And this is, again, one of just my easiest go-to formulas. And when I have something like this, I stay really nice and full all the way through the morning shoot. So I have enough energy, I'm focused. Refrigerate, I'm gonna do a kind of breakfast salsa with cherry tomato, spring onion, and this little bit of avocado that I have. I'm gonna add, very crinkly, some fresh parsley into that. Parsley's so good for your liver health and digestion. Serving it with a nice piece of sourdough bread from Burley Bakery. Then my extra egg whites, which I'm gonna use to bulk out my eggs. Where are they? And eggs of choice today are the M&S free-range rich golden yolk eggs, which are very delicious. Sip of tea first. I'll start off doing my salsa. Take these cherry tomatoes off the vine, and then just slice them. Ooh, got tomatoes rolling everywhere. Slice them into rough little quarters. Doesn't have to be anything too fine. I feel like a tomato is my favourite breakfast vegetable of choice. I think if I have to choose anything, it would be a tomato. Especially as we get now into summer season, I feel like they're just coming into their prime. And we literally just got back from Italy, and oh my God, I feel like I ate my body weight in tomatoes, which is a really good thing, because if you are in the sunshine and exposed to all of those UV rays, the pigment in tomatoes, something called lycopene, actually sits in the layer of your skin and helps form a slight kind of antioxidant protective mechanism. This does not replace SPF, of course, but it's just a fun thing that you should be eating more of. But you need to pair them with fats to be able to absorb lycopene. So those cherry tomatoes that I've just diced, I'm just gonna pop into my little bowl. And then I just take that spring onion, top and tail it, and give that a dice into the little bowl. This little nubbin of avocado. Just roughly dice that as well. And then she goes into the bowl. I've definitely used a too small a bowl, so I'm just gonna count that into there. More washing up for a busy morning. Then I was gonna take a nice little wedge of that fresh parsley, give it a dice. I always like doing these what I eat in a day videos, because I literally end up just having to be a little bit more creative with what I've got. But it means that I actually make something that feels quite nice and realistic that you can rustle up together. And all of these things, most people tend to just have lurking in their fridge anyway. This is my salsa. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil, a good pinch of flaky salt. And because this is breakfast, I actually love sriracha with eggs. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of sriracha just for the heat. And just a little mix together. And that is my lovely tomato breakfast salsa. So popping that to one side. Hey Siri, what's the time?
It's 7:45.
7:45. And then add those extra egg whites. And then a little scoop of cottage cheese. Trust the process. I always like doing this because it really does just give your eggs that extra creaminess. Exactly the same way if you do like a ricotta scrambled eggs. I just need to whisk this and not chuck it everywhere with my stupid sized bowl. I don't know why I'm using this, guys. I really like them though. They're cute, aren't they? I got them from a little cook shop. Best cottage cheese ever, if you know, you know. And then I'll just season that with a little pinch of salt. Actually a really nice breakfast, something that you could make for brunch, but it's also really super simple and still follows all of those principles that I always like to follow for breakfast, which is the protein, the fiber, high volume as well. So it's going to give me a lovely portion size to keep me nice and full, especially when I've got quite a busy morning. So taking that's quite a holy slice of bread. So taking a nice little slice of bread from my silicone oxo bags. This is how I store all of my fresh bread. I try and squeeze as much of the air out as possible. These are just absolutely brilliant. These can also go in the freezer, but my freezer is literally the size of that. So it's quite full at the moment. It's very, very hot and we've got loads of ice in there. So I actually just store this in the fridge and I still find that I get lots and lots of life and longevity out of it. If you do find that your fresh bread goes a little bit stale, just wet your hands and pat it slightly and this will just bring it back to life. But I'm gonna stick this into the air fryer. Let's make some scrambled eggs in my trusty skillet. I always like to do a push motion with my scrambled eggs. Perfect. Soft, fluffy, still a little bit of wobble, but nice textural pieces. And then the cottage cheese just kind of like melts into it. Sorry, the angles of my scrambled egg filming went a little bit wiry, so apologies for that. Pop my slice of toast down. Fluffy eggs. Breakfast salsa. I'm very happy with that, guys. I know it's not the most aesthetic thing in the whole wide world. Oh, not forgetting shortbread tea. Quick, simple, rustle that together in no time at all. The salsa you can actually kind of batch make and prep as well, but great formula. I've got my protein, I've got my veg, I've got my healthy fats, I've got my carbs. Just a lovely little breakfast plate. So let's eat it and then I need to go and get ready. Literally perfect. The lighting is so far. So the shoot is done. That went really well. I love the photos. Cannot wait for that to come out. I have basically just enough time, I think, to go and nip into a little carve class because it's my birthday tomorrow. And I've also got this morning in the morning, which means I won't have time to train tomorrow. So I'm actually just gonna nip in for a cheeky little 1 o'clock class. So I'm gonna go train and then I'll come back and we'll make lunch together. This is always the bed that I go on. That was such a nice shoot, not too long as well, and it was really, really nice to be able to just fit in a little carve class in between. So I just got back, it's about 2 o'clock, and I'm gonna make one of my favorite things, and I know I make them quite often, but this is just another variation, a good old chicken pita, but I've got a new way of doing them that's kind of like the Joe and the Juice sandwiches. So I cut the pita in half and then pan fry it, just make it really lovely and crispy, and it's just chef's kiss. I'm gonna do a really nice, spicy harissa cottage cheese kind of mix. I'm gonna put some feta in there, I'm gonna put some of this rose harissa, and I'm gonna spice it up with, again, the Gran Lunchito crunchy jalapeno and pineapple things. And I'll start with all of my veg prep first. So I'm gonna add a little bit of red onion. Probably about half a small red onion. A little tip if you're someone who cooks with lots of vegetables is have a little bin bowl by your side, and it just makes cleaning up so much easier. Finely dice that red onion. Your gut bacteria love alliums, so red onion is really, really good for feeding your microbiome. And I also really like to just add the red onion first. And then with the jar of jalapenos, or anything that has a little bit of kind of pickle or acid, is I just add a tiny bit to the red onions, a little mixy. And that will just soften the heavy onion flavor slightly, so it's not so repeaty, because no one wants red onion breath for the rest of the day after lunch. Then for a nice bit of crunch, I'm gonna go in with some red pepper. Nice raw red pepper as well, really, really high in vitamin C. Good for your immune system, your skin. And the deeper the red color of the red pepper, the better it is for you. The more of those lovely antioxidants, those really skin supporting antioxidants they have. So when you're in the supermarket looking at your red pepper, go for the one that's as deep red as possible. Little cherry tomatoes again. Literally eating this whole pack of tomatoes today. Whoops. There are worse vices to have. I'm just gonna dice those. Chunk of parsley. And you can see how I use a lot of the kind of same ingredients through multiple recipes in the day, and that's because I literally am opening my fridge and using what I have. Fresh parsley to the bowl. Yum. So I've got my red onion, red pepper, tomatoes, parsley. Lovely, fresh vibes, yum. To this, add some cottage cheese. Nice big scoop. You can use yogurt. And that nice little smoky rose harissa. I just get this one from Marks and Spencer's. Also adds a nice colour. And then some feta, just for that salty pop. If I had enough chicken, I would make a nice big batch of this and I would be able to have it again tomorrow, but the amount of chicken that I've got left over in my pack is actually only really enough for one portion. So just crumble the feta in there. Red jalapenos, which I'm actually just gonna dice. Extra kick of sweet heat. Pop into my bowl. Then my pre-cooked chicken, which I always buy, which just makes things like this so convenient. I just like to tear up with my hands and add in. Season with some pepper, garlic salt, then just mix to combine. And that is my very yummy harissa chicken mix. So that's my very lovely harissa chicken mix. Perfect meal prep. I could literally double, triple, quadruple this batch and I would be able to enjoy it throughout the week. But as I said, I only have enough chicken really for one portion, but this probably isn't gonna fit into one pitta. So what I'll do is I'll load it. Whatever I have left, I will save as a little afternoon snack. So I'll probably have that maybe with just some crudité at like 4:30, just for a little bit of top up before dinner. If you don't have harissa, you could use something like chipotle paste, but buy a jar of this and it will sit in your fridge for a very, very long time. It's aromatic, it's smoky, it makes things taste delicious. Harissa basically is a red pepper paste with red chilies, garlic, and rose petals, because this is the rose harissa one. So it's got dried peppers, it's got salt, it's got crushed red chilies, roasted garlic, red chili, rose petals, paprika, ground cumin, ground coriander, smoked chilies, caraway seeds, ground fennel, and ground cloves. Oh God, it's just so yum. It's literally one of my favorite flavors. So that is lovely, that is prepped, that is done. So pop that to one side. Grab my pitta. That one of these pittas has 6 grams of protein in. Do surgery on this. I'm gonna get my knife Really carefully, just kind of go around the edge of the pita, cut him open. So I have two, chucking it everywhere, pita sides, which I'm now going to toast and crisp up in a pan so then I can have it almost like a little Joe and the Juice sandwich. Yeah, I always feel like I think a lot of people forget that there is quite a lot of protein in things like pasta and bread. So 6 grams of protein, then alongside the protein in the cottage cheese and the chicken and the feta. It's why a lunch like this will actually keep you really, really nice and full. And I've got those lovely nutrients, those vitamins, the antioxidants, the fibers from the red onion, the parsley, the tomatoes, the red peppers. It's just delish. Perfect combination. And I'm going to serve with a side of Crispies, because I always need Crispies with my pita, some sliced cucumber, and I'm probably going to make myself a nice little iced caramel coffee today, because why not? Stainless steel pan on. Ignore how dirty it is. It needs a little bit of farmer's friend. And then my pita, which I have, as you can see, cut in half like that. I'm just going to lay both sides down. I'm actually put a little weight on them just so they actually get nice and toasted. Crispy iced coffee prepped, so I've got just milk, and then I've done my coffee and I've added a little bit of the M&S caramel sweetener because I have a sweetener from time to time and I'm still alive to tell the tale. I always think with things like artificial sweeteners is that you have to remember diet context, like how much of it is making up your diet and are you having the things that are good for you. So in this lunch, I'm having all the things that are still nourishing and supporting my gut. And I'm just yet to see the study to show how terrible they are for you. And I don't really have them like every single day. But if I am sweetening something, I would actually rather not have the sugar and just have the artificial sweetener. So some nice fresh diced cucumber there. Crispy pita. Crisps of choice today are the proper chips barbecue lentil crisps. Pop my cucumber on my plate. I find when I have a little side of cucumber like this, it makes me eat slower as well. Because often for lunch, I think we're all the same. We're all always in a little bit of a rush. So I just like wolf things down. On the side of crisps. One more for luck. I always freeze my pitas, so you can literally just freeze these whole, and when you need them, you'll just snap them off, and you can actually toast them straight from frozen in the air fryer. Kind of perfect, thin, crispy bread. Chicken harissa mix. Just loading that in. Lid on. Now I have my little crispy harissa chicken pita. Cut them in half. Ta-da! That first sip of iced coffee is so good. There is lunch. Taste test. It's such a perfect lunch. I literally love these. I mean, long live love a pita. I feel like a pita is just the perfect size, perfect versatility. They stock really well in my freezer. Doesn't make me feel sluggish or sleepy in the afternoon. I can load it up, loads of different protein fillings. I'm very happy with this lunch. I'm gonna eat this, and then I've got an afternoon of filming and editing. So I'll see you guys for dinner. How big are these salad onions? Look, you're going to pick me up. Let's go home and make Greeky bowls.
Freaky Greeky bowls?
Freaky Greeky bowls. Well, I did cheat and I brought tzatziki from Marks and Spencer's, but the ingredients are literally yogurt, extra virgin olive oil and all the nice bits, and we had it the other week and it was really, really nice, so sorry guys, I'm not making that from scratch. So home, PJs are on. Let's make some Greeky bowls. This is a recipe that I really, really enjoy doing when I want something that's kind of healthy, but delicious, fresh, high in protein. I always say high in protein. High in protein. but they're also just like really, really, really tasty. I've got some extra potatoes, which I'm just gonna wrap in the fridge. Baby Jersey royal, so I'm going to parboil these, then roast them. I'm gonna marinate my chicken mini breast fillets in a kind of like Greek marinade, then serve it with a really nice fresh Greek salad with not homemade tzatziki, but as I said, literally the ingredients in this are Greek yogurt, cucumber, extra virgin olive oil, mint, salt, garlic puree, lemon juice, and a little bit of corn flour. Simple. Why make it? So, first things first, let's marinate the chicken. Then onto a little gentle simmering boil. Season with salt. So in my bowl, I just got these chicken mini breast fillets, which I have about 350 grams. I like these because I always feel like they're nice and tender and they marinate really well. They're super quick to cook. I'm just gonna do this all in the air fryer. So my chicken marinade, I'm just gonna use a little bit of yogurt. Love using yogurt in a marinade. I feel like it really tenderizes the chicken. Then there's everything seasoning from Marks and Spencer's, which has oregano, mint, thyme, basil, marjoram, dill, parsley, sea salt, dried garlic, dried onions, ground spices, with black pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, lemon peel, lemon juice, and mint oil. So, I mean, kill all the birds with one stone. So for that. I'm also gonna add a little bit of smoked paprika, just for that kind of rich depth of flavor. And I've got a little garlic clove. I actually think one of my laziest things, or the things that I don't enjoy doing, is chopping garlic. It's the one thing that I'm like, ugh. But it's so good for you, and it tastes so good. So just kind of roughly chop that. I actually like the garlic being a little bit kind of chunky. I don't know why I'm using this silly small knife. I don't know, I feel like using stupidly sized utensils has been the theme of today, hasn't it? With my tiny bowl earlier. A little bit of garlic goes in, a pinch of garlic salt. And last but not least, a lemon. Cut that lemon with the same knife that I've cut the garlic. So that now is garlic lemon, and I should not use it for water. Good squeeze of that lemon juice. Again, the acids in this are really nice because they help tenderize the chicken. And something that I picked up from a farmer's market is this smoked maple syrup, which I like to add just a tiny little bit because it helps with the caramelization when I'm going to air fryer it. But it also gives that same smoky flavor that smoked paprika has. So that is my chicken. I'm just going to give that a little mix now. So that is my chicken. Gorgeous. So chicken's doing its thing. Potatoes are on a very rapid boil. They should be on a simmer. Potatoes are simmering. So I'm just going to chop up all the things that I want for this nice chunky Greek salad. That red onion that I had earlier, I'm just going to mandolin that into my bowl. This is my OXO Good Grips mandolin. It's my favourite one for the home. I have their professional one, but I don't really use it as much. I love this one. It's small, it's compact, it's handheld, and it just makes chopping and doing stuff like this so quick. I'm gonna do the same, a little bit of light pickle, so just a tiny splash of red wine vinegar. Then cucumber. I always like to remove the seeds out of my cucumber. I just think they dilute so much flavour because they're so full of water. I honestly think a Greek salad is my favourite salad. It is the perfect balance of kind of crunchy, creamy from the feta, salty pops from the olives. These are my favourite tomatoes. These are the Pomodorisi tomatoes. They are so sweet, juicy and amazing. They are the ones that have that kind of long shape. So they look a little bit like a plum tomato. With these, I'm just going to chop them in half. I really have eaten a lot of tomatoes today, guys, haven't I? Then pepper-wise, how good value are these, by the way, guys? All of those peppers, literally £2.80 from M&S. So good. I actually really like a green pepper in a Greek salad. Normally they're quite bitter, but I feel the bitterness can be quite welcomed. I'm gonna go in with that red pepper. Got my red pepper, my green pepper, my tomatoes, my red onion that's marinated slightly. And then what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of that Greek seasoning to this. Kalamata pitted olives, good handful. And then what I like to do is just roughly run my knife through them. I know normally you should leave them whole, but I like my Greek salads to have a little bite of all the items. So a rough chop and then into the bowl, wedge of feta, which I'll just break into pieces and just give that a little toss together. I'm just going to leave that to do its thing. I'm not going to add any olive oil or salt until I serve, just to keep it nice and fresh. So lovely parboiled potatoes. Drizzle of olive oil in those. Simply season with a pinch of that garlic salt. Ruffle in the pan. Oh, there's simply nothing better than good olive oil and salt. Then into my air fryer basket. And I'm just going to roast these nice and hot, just so they colour and crisp up on the outside. We're not going to get the crispiest potatoes because these are Jersey Royals. They're a little bit more waxy, but they're super, super delicious. I put those on for about 15 to 20 minutes. My lovely chicken has been marinating during the time that I've done those potatoes and made that salad. So I'm actually going to preheat the top air fryer to max temperature because I want to almost grill this and get that really nice colour on the outside. I'm just going to take my tongs and lay those chicken mini breast fillets into a nice even row and just cook kind of nice and hard and fast in the air fryer. I think they'll all just fit in one layer. Just like that. And then I'm going to cook these for about 12 minutes. And I'm just going to finish the Greek salad now and we are ready to plate. So to this nice Greek salad, I'm actually just going to tear in some fresh mint. So nice fresh dill. Use my hands, just break it up, tear it in. Then add a little bit of olive oil to the salad. Splash more red wine vinegar. Season her up now. And the reason why I season later is the salt will draw out the water from the vegetables and you don't want a little soggy salad, you want it nice and crispy and fresh. Let's give that an extra toss. Taste test. Perfect Greek salad. What I'm actually going to do is take a little amount and spread her on the base. Add a nice little portion of the Greek salad. Some cute little roasted potatoes. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to carve up my chicken portion. And those are my Greeky chicken protein bowls. So we've got that nice Greek salad, we've got the tzatziki, we've got those roast potatoes, all that chicken. Basically, the dream little summer dinner. Very easy, brilliant for meal prepping as well. This is the kind of thing that does prep like an absolute dream, but that is it. Final meal of the day. Where do you want to eat this? Table or TV?
Wherever you fancy, baby.
Should we do TV dinner? I think we're going to do TV dinner, which means I have to try a little bit in front of you guys. Bit of chicken. Oh, that chicken is so buttery soft with that yogurt marinade. Doing the Greek salad like that, I feel like Greek salad is important to do it in the stages that you do it. Erin, you're going to love this dinner. Thank you so much for coming with me for another What I Eat in a Day. May see me for a little sweet treat later, but for now, we're off to enjoy a TV dinner. Shh, don't tell anyone. This is my little nighttime yogurt bowl with yogurt, frozen blueberries, a little bit of honey, and I'm going to add some passion fruit and then some peanut butter.